It's time to investigate. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of The Star Show. This second episode, we are going to be discussing a really juicy topic right now, which is devil worship in Hollywood. We are going to be talking about some of today's hottest Hollywood stars, including Jay-Z, Beyonce, Travis Scott, even Young Thug. Even going to discuss information about demonic mass possession. Stick with me today, you guys. You won't want to miss this episode. I am here to expose Hollywood's agenda and plan to program the masses. Exhibit 1. Young Thug's attorneys file a motion to toss out video featuring alleged goat sacrifice.
A bizarre request from Young Thug's defense amidst the rapper's ongoing jury selection, petitioning the court to exclude evidence of a ritualistic sacrifice in his RICO trial.
The theory behind killing animals is you're draining their energy, their power, and to use for mystical purposes.
According to newly filed court documents, defense attorneys for Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, have motioned to exclude evidence stemming from his co-defendant's arrest. According to the documents, during Shannon Stillwell's March 2022 arrest, officials found a, quote, religious ceremony which involved the supposed sacrifice of goats. Prosecutors say Stillwell, known as SB, and Young Thug were part of a gang referred to as Young Slime Life, Young Stoner Life, or simply YSL. Last year, Fulton County, Georgia officials indicted nearly 30 people involved in the gang, alleging conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corruption Act, or RICO. Multiple defendants are also indicted on several counts of murder, and Young Thug faces one count of participation in criminal street gang. Jury selection for the 8 gang members began in January in what's set to be the longest criminal trial in the county's history. Now, Young Thug's defense team says showing evidence of this alleged goat sacrifice has no, quote, benefit or probative value and could create prejudice in jurors. For more information about this alleged sacrifice, Long Crime Network spoke to Stephen Hassan, a licensed mental health counselor and founder and director of the Freedom of Mind Resource Center.
So let's jump into the Bible. Deuteronomy 12:30 through 31. Take heed to thyself, that thou not be snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so I will do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God. For every abomination to the Lord which he hateth have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods.
I'm out of breath because we sang Beyonce in church. Holy cow.
We do have a community that is youthful and loving and looks to the world as a partner, not an enemy. So if that's new to you, I hope it's good news. God actually loves you.
What can you tell me about the progressive nature of Grace Cathedral?
I think a lot of the people who show up tonight are people of color, LGBT people, people on whom other people's narratives have been projected. And I mean, just to be honest, the church hasn't been the best about lifting up those voices. It really began as us saying, how can we actually be the people of God that we hope to be in the world?
And Beyonce is the perfect passage to get that message out there.
Honestly, I think Beyonce is a better theologian than many of the pastors and priests in our church today. That is not an exaggeration.
According to a recent Gallup poll, Catholic church attendance has gone down nearly 40% since the 1950s. But tonight's Beyonce Mass is set to draw crowds in the hundreds. And though I don't consider Beyonce to be a religious symbol, like some of her most ardent fans, there's no denying her strong use of religious symbolism throughout her music and performances, paying homage to everything from female African deities, the Last Supper, Black Madonna, and the Virgin Mary herself. I spoke with Reverend Yolanda Norton, Beyonce fan and organizer of the event, to find out where the idea came from to mix Beyonce with the Bible.
The event was born out of a class that I teach called Beyonce in the Hebrew Bible. So I walked them through this process of thinking about how the music of Beyonce helped us have conversations about Black women and how we worship and our spirituality.
So talk me through how you analyze a song like Flaws and All for your students.
She has this ambiguous audience, right, in the song. Maybe it's Jay-Z, maybe it's her fans. But I love it when she says, you know, I'm a train wreck.
I'm a train wreck in the morning. I'm a bitch in the afternoon.
Right?
I'm a bitch in the afternoon.
Every now and then, without warning, I can be really mean to you.
Right.
I can be really mean toward you.
So what we do in the worship service is we make that about a conversation that we would have with God. So if you imagine that as a prayer to God, how many
don't know why you love me,
and that's why I love you, right? I neglect you when I'm working. Yep, we all do that, right? So it's really about naming Black female spirituality is embodied in that song.
The Lord be with you.
So with you.
Lift up your hearts.
Them up to the Lord.
We live in a world where a mostly male church debates whether or not women should be ordained, but Jesus chose Mary of Nazareth, a woman of color, and another woman of color, Mary of Magdala, to be the prophet of the resurrection. So what is very clear to me is that God is a lot more comfortable in trusting his power and authority to women of color than the church is.
I've been asked time and time again, why Beyonce? I believe that she reminds us that sometimes you have to do your thing your way. You don't do it on demand. You don't do it for your oppressor. You don't sing when they want you to sing. You sing when God tells you to sing. Never give them your song. Beyonce didn't become Beyonce on her own. I'm not standing in front of you because of anything that I've done. I'm here because of the Mary Nortons of the world, the Daisy Washingtons of the world. These are women whose names you'll never know, but Black women who fought to their core to make sure that there was a better tomorrow for those who could stand in front of you and say, as a Black woman, I am created in the image of God, and I am here to change the game and make the world a better place.
For those in the bondage of patriarchy, we need.
I am unapologetically a minister of the gospel.
Beyonce has never publicly denounced the church. Now, what about Jay-Z? Jay-Z and Beyonce, one of the world's biggest power couples, worth together an estimate of about $1 billion. These two have definitely rose to stardom and worked their ways to rise towards the top. What did they do to rise to the top? What kind of deals were made for their soul? And where did they learn what they learned to achieve what they've achieved? Stay tuned. We're going to discuss Jay-Z next.
Your feelings. I know a lot of y'all worship this man. Let's just go over a couple things and you guys be the judge. Jay-Z is always making this sign, right? Yet nobody really knows what it means. Y'all just throw it up out of ignorance. What could this sign possibly actually truly represent? Oh, I think I know. That, my friends, is a Freemason sign with the all-seeing eye in the middle of it. The actual Mason sign has a G in the middle of it. But what is a Mason? This is something you can't even ask Masons because they're sworn to secrecy. So let's dig deeper ourselves. How is it that the Mason symbol lines up exactly with the Satanic symbol? It's because Masons are secretly Satanists, and a lot of them don't even really know it. This says, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. In other words, do what you want to. Now, where did that saying come from? It came from this demonic lunatic, Aleister Crowley. Dun-da-da-da! Check out Jay-Z's sweater. Do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt was on the Satanic symbol, right? Now, who started the Satanic Church? Anton LaVey. And look at the sign he's holding up. It's getting deeper now, ain't it? Anton LaVey again, throwing up the rock sign. My friends, why is Jay-Z throwing up the same sign as the man who started the Satanic Church throwing up? Who also made the Satanic Bible? I'll tell you why. Here goes Jay-Z in the Mason Lounge with Mason Brothers. Check this out. This is the Order of the Eastern Star, a Masonic sign. Now you tell me what it looked like. If you guessed Satanic symbol, you guessed right. They're one and the same people. Freemasons are Satanists. Satanists that are sworn to secrecy. And let's just be honest, Freemasons don't sound as bad as Satanists. However, they're one and the same. And almost every one of your favorite celebrities is one of them. Check this demonic mess out. What's it say at the top? Do what thou wilt. They don't hide nothing. It's right in your face. They think that you are stupid. The word of God says my people perish because of lack of knowledge. You have eyes but don't see. Stop ignoring what's right in front of your face. One of Jay-Z's clothing lines with the all-seeing eye at the top. Jay-Z's lyrics. Jesus can't save you, life starts when the church ends. People really be in the concert rapping that. Satanists hate Jesus, and they own everything. Why do you think almost every movie has the name Jesus in it, but they say it in a derogatory way? They're subconsciously brainwashing you. Why does Jay-Z call himself Jehovah? Sounds similar to Jehovah. Coincidence? I think not. Answer something else for me. Why is Jay-Z with this witch? Complete witch. Complete witch. Why is he with her? This is who a lot of y'all look up to, right? And what happened to innocent Beyonce? This ain't art. It's symbolic, people. Y'all gotta stop worshiping these people and open your eyes. Let me show y'all something. You remember this performance? This outfit Beyonce wore? This is the Horror Babylon robot from the 1927 movie Metropolis. Look at the symbol in the back. This is a replica of that outfit. Coincidence? I think not. Check this out. Beyonce's drummer of 7 years, Kimberly Thompson, Quentin filed a restraining order over extreme witchcraft. Y'all open your eyes yet? Or y'all still worshiping these people and you too blind to see?
Raise my hands up. I felt something else come into me.
Yeah, that was a demon.
Who is Aleister Crowley?
Aleister Crowley, the man who called himself the Beast 666, black magician, drug fiend, sex addict, and traitor to the British people.
I want none of your faint approval or faint dispraise. To hell with Christianity, rationalism, Buddhism. I want blasphemy, murder, rape, revolution, anything bad or good, but strong.
In 1920, Aleister Crowley founded a commune in Sicily to practice the beliefs that he said would one day sweep away Christianity and free men from all restriction and repression. 3 years later, Mussolini deported Crowley and his followers from Sicily after reports of human and animal sacrifice and unimaginable sexual depravity caused an international scandal. The British press called Crowley the wickedest man in the world.
I have exposed myself to every form of disease, accident, and violence. I have driven myself to delight in dirty and disgusting debauches and to devour human excrements and human flesh. I have mastered every mode of my mind and made myself a morality more severe than any other in the world. 1,000 years from now, the world will be sitting in the sunset of Crowleyanity.
The thing about Crowley was doing everything to absolute excess, pushing yourself to the absolute limit so you know at least where your limits are. So if you're going to do something that's depraved, you do something which is extremely depraved that even you feel disgusted at, and then try to learn to enjoy it.
Aleister Crowley declared the death of Christianity. He was to be the new Messiah that would replace the pallid dead Christ.
I believe he was the real thing. He had given himself under demonic control. He was evil.
Very clever. A genius, for God's sake. A raving genius, you know. In a world of little tiny people, as Crowley saying, my God, why are you so unhappy? You want to make love? Well, make love, for Christ's sake. You want to take drugs? You want to expand your consciousness? Please do it.
Since his death in 1947, Crowley has become an icon of rebellion. The Rolling Stones, David Bowie, Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page have all been influenced by his message of freedom. He continues to be a key figure in the occult and is a focus for those engaged in the battle between good and evil. This was a battle that was to play a crucial part in Crowley's childhood.
About getting to the root of things, and Mr. Crowley has been instrumental throughout music for before I was born. You know what I mean? Led Zeppelin, Beatles. There's a lot of great artists that are the building blocks for even hip hop. So me understanding that, you know what I mean, and digging into his story and understanding why he's been so relevant and influential in music culture. I think it was important for me to, reinstill that. If you didn't know that, if you missed that part, you know what I mean? If you missed that part of the culture of music in general, this beyond hip hop, but just music in general, he's had a big influence on the culture. At first, at first sight, he's the wickedest man alive, right? That's what he's a very wicked man. But if you dig into the poetry and you read between the lines of his poetry and you dig into his story, a lot of the things will make more sense to you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it made a lot of sense with me. A lot of the things that he discusses resonates with me. Well, I just want to leave you with this. My album is called Do What Thou Wilt, and it's based on. It's influenced by Crowley's The Book of the Law. Love, Thelema. Love is the law. Love is the only law. Love under will. The law is for all. And, if you read the Christian Bible, that's the only commandment that Jesus left. So, also a great quote is, the righteous will remain righteous and the filthy will remain filthy. So, thinking along those lines, you know what I'm saying? And even do what thou wilt itself, free will is what it kind of sounds like, right? So, all of these, just me, into theology and into history and these things, putting these parallels together, these different ideas, it's just great stuff, you know what I mean?
Really, I can't believe such foolishness exists. Did you guys just seen what I seen, right? Like, this dude is praising a straight up demon worshiping Satanist that deliberately outright doesn't believe in Jesus or anything. Complete opposite. And he's praising him, calling what's good evil and evil good. This is the world that we're living in, you guys. And I hope we're reading our scriptures. I hope we are holding on to the word, knowing that there are seasons to this thing we call life, and that things that God has spoken of are starting to come to pass, you guys. It's not just in our imagination anymore. So anyways, let's move on to the next slide, and make sure you leave your comment.
Concert disaster in Houston. 8 people killed, hundreds more injured when the crowd surged as Travis Scott was on stage. We're learning more about the victims as Scott himself speaks out. Marcus Moore, live in Houston, with more on the investigation. Good morning, Marcus.
Oh, Robin, good morning. You can see that growing memorial just outside the concert venue behind me. The brother of one of the people who was trampled to death said that you come to concerts to have a good time, not to die. This morning, grieving families are asking what went wrong here and who's accountable.
This morning, multiple lawsuits against Travis Scott, Live Nation, and even rap superstar Drake filed after the Astroworld Music Festival in Houston turned deadly.
I reported that people were getting stepped on.
Officials launching a criminal investigation into the chaotic concert that left at least 8 people dead and many others hurt. 50,000 fans gathering to see rapper Travis Scott, a Houston native and Astroworld founder, perform. As he took to the stage around 9:15 p.m., the crowd, as seen in this Apple Music live stream, pushing their way forward, forcing people into the barricades.
Our barricade even started to break, and the security had to come over to us and start strapping the rails.
People unable to move, some collapsing to the ground. 19-year-old Quentin Savage was trampled on while trying to pull his brother out of a human body pile.
I was telling people there are dead bodies over there, and nobody believed me.
Crowd chanting, "Stop the show!" Scott still performing throughout the chaos. In this video, a seemingly unconscious man is carried through the crowd as Travis Scott looks on nearby. At one point, Scott even seemingly acknowledging an ambulance on the scene.
There's an ambulance in the whoa.
He noticed some people were passed out.
But as he resumed, fans are heard pleading for help. This woman climbing the stage platform, pleading with the camera crew to stop the show and help. A security guard lost consciousness after being pricked in the neck by a substance, requiring Narcan to be revived. By 9:38 p.m., police declaring the scene a mass casualty incident. Shortly after, Scott pausing his song Skeletons to acknowledge someone in distress.
We need somebody to help him. Somebody passed out right here.
But police and medics seen tending to fans even as the show carries on for nearly 40 more minutes. Amidst the chaos, Drake joined Scott on stage. He posted these images from the night on his Instagram.
I'm honestly just devastated. I could never imagine anything like this just happening.
The 30-year-old Scott addressing the tragedy to his 43 million fans on Instagram.
My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience.
Kylie Jenner, he shares daughter Stormy with, commenting, quote, "I want to make it clear we weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would have continued filming or performing."
We will always celebrate you. You're in heaven, mijo.
Memorials honoring the victims with flowers and grieving notes.
He was talking to everyone how excited he was to be there and to go. And he was saving up money to go with his best friend Jacob, who also passed away.
Among those who died, Danish Beg, 27, 16-year-old Brianna Rodriguez, Axel Acosta and Franco Patino, both 21, and 23-year-old Rudy Pena, along with Jacob Jerinek. And 23-year-old Arturo Sanchez was also in that crush of people, suffering a heart attack during the melee. A nurse who didn't want to be identified saved his life.
I'm so happy.
We were there as the One Strangers reunited for the first time since the tragedy.
How many people did you try to help?
I helped 3 others. But it's kind of like a prioritization thing. You have to move on to the ones who can survive. And this is it. These are the people who survived.
The Houston mayor is vowing a thorough investigation into what happened at this event. A concert goer who suffered broken ribs and multiple broken bones filed $1 million lawsuit Sunday against Travis Scott, Live Nation, and show organizers, referencing chaos at other Travis Scott concerts.
It's happened before, history has repeated itself, and we hope that by filing this lawsuit and the many other lawsuits that are guaranteed to follow, that Travis Scott and other artists like him understand concert goers want to be safe.
We heard from so many people who were at this concert event, and they were talking about the crush of people and how they literally were fighting for their lives to get out of that crowd. Robin, they said that this simply should not have happened.
Thank you.
I'll be the first to say that the music that I chose to listen to was something that I struggled with for years. But when the Lord convicted me of this 2 years ago and I switched over to Christian hip-hop, the Lord started revealing to me just how satanic the music industry actually is. Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." I've said this many times before and I'll say it again. The music industry is a dark place, and these rappers who are put on a pedestal by society are literally glorifying Satan with the way that they perform, the songs that they sing, and the lives that they live. And let's not forget the one time that Travis Scott stopped an entire show because someone stole his shoe while he was crowd surfing. And yet, the show must go on while people are dying within feet of him. If that doesn't show you how demonic this music truly is, then I'm at a loss for what will. And it's not just Travis Scott, it's a lot of them. Lyrics that sing about sex and drugs and money and women and everything else that goes against God's word. It's so obvious, and yet so many people are still willingly choosing to turn away from Jesus. Isaiah 5:20 warns us, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." And listening to the stories and the encounters that people had at this Travis Scott concert are literally gut-wrenching as a Christian. This is not something to be taken lightly. Hell is a real place. It's not something that you dress up for as Halloween or just dabble with on occasion. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So many people in our society believe in zodiac signs and follow them and follow astrology, believing that these energies have such an impact on your life. So then why are more people not waking up to see the demonic activity and satanic symbolism in front of them in the music industry? Make it make sense for me. One of my favorite scriptures, Ephesians 5:11, says, "Take no part in unfruitful works, but instead expose them." It becomes more obvious every day to more people that there are unfruitful things happening in this world, that there are dark, demonic agenda things happening in this world, in the music industry. And in the midst of the chaos, you guys, you have to lock your eyes on Jesus. Look to Jesus. He is our only hope in this lost and broken world.
News at this hour. And in entertainment news at this hour, fresh developments in the US rapper Travis Scott's Egypt performance. Various reports suggest that the rapper will no longer be performing at the Giza pyramids. According to reports, the Egyptian General Syndicate for Musical Professions has cancelled Travis Scott's Utopia concert after an online campaign against the rapper came to their notice. The news comes just a week before Scott was about to perform in Egypt. The Musicians Syndicate, which oversees all matters relating to live or recorded music, said in a statement that Scott's concert would go against their traditions. They said, and we quote, based on research and documented information about strange rituals at Travis's concerts that are inconsistent with our authentic societal values and traditions, the board of directors has decided to cancel the license issued to hold this type of concert that contradicts the cultural identity of the Egyptian people, end of quote. Meanwhile, American multinational entertainment company Live Nation says that Scott's Pyramids of Giza Utopia concert is still happening. Ahead of the development, social media users launched a campaign to cancel Scott's concert, citing the American rapper's Afrocentrism, which highlights the role of black Africans in shaping humanity. But this is not the first time such an incident is taking place. In February, Egypt cancelled a performance by American comedian Kevin Hart after a social media campaign circulated some of his past comments. Musicians often perform at the base of Egypt's famed pyramids, and the Powerful Musicians Union rarely opposes such events. But in recent years, authorities have become more vigilant about who should be allowed to perform there.
Again, this is not coincidence, you guys. People outside of America, outside of this Illuminati influence, are even seeing for themselves that this has to do more with just a concert and a performance. This has to do with souls, demonic rituals, and way more than what people anticipate. That's what they get when they go to a Travis Scott concert. Cardiac arrest, 6 feet under, stampedes, raging out, everything that's opposite of peace. So let's not forget all of those people, those lost souls, those who died at Astral World, those who were affected negatively. These occurrences are happening at there's weird occurrences happening at Taylor Swift concerts where people are getting amnesia and forgetting the concert. Honestly, I have no clue how that could happen because I cannot stand Taylor Swift's music. I don't understand it. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. I don't understand what's so great about it. But anyway, same phenomenon is happening at Beyonce's concerts, all of that. People are spending thousands of dollars for tickets to go see these artists just to be brought in under a trance. You know, these women, these artists, these men that you guys are putting on a pedestal are hypnotizing you. So the best thing to do is to stay clear of what's out there, you guys. These people don't care about your souls. They care about their money bags. Remember that.
I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
Well, hey, I am so blessed that you guys stayed in here throughout the whole episode with me. I had a really good time educating you guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed the content. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Glue anybody in that you think may be interested in this content as well. Of course, I am going to continue to release new episodes here on a consistent basis. You guys be blessed. Keep me in your prayers and have a good one.